Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talk About House. I'm Todd.
I'm Oana.
Okay, we are going to do an update to the Las Vegas real estate market for March 2024. Apologize for this being a day late. These come out on Monday, but we had technical difficulty because we filmed the whole video already, but we didn't have any sound.
Right.
So we had a little glitch. Our sound guy, Marco, is on vacation. So I tried to do the sound myself, not very good at it. And
Well, Marco got the job because he's hot. That's it.
Marco is pretty hot. Okay, so we're going to talk about the update to Las Vegas real estate market here. We're just going to jump right into data, and then we'll talk about it as we go.
Okay.
Point out all the unique things about Las Vegas. Okay, so this real-time market profile, here's all the data. We're going to hit a bunch of these before we go through the charts. Median list price as of the most recent couple days ago, $579.5. Mm-hmm. And you might think, well, what is that like in reference to? Well, if you compare it to December 15th, it was $530. So It's basically 50 grand more. It's 580. You could call it 580. Now, Oana,
Yes.
A lot of people will say, I know these numbers are fake because there's no way the median is exactly like 530,000. I actually had someone say that to me one time. What does median mean?
The number in the middle.
It's a number. So if you have 999 houses for sale, the 500th one is going to be the middle, right? Okay. Right. Whatever it is what the median is. It's just the middle number,
right? Not
the average. If it's an average, you're right. It would be the chances of it being a number that ends in a 10,000 like this would be 1 in 10,000. So no, 50 grand. That's quite a bit just since December.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty substantial. But remember, this is for entertainment purposes only, and it only matters when you buy the house and when you sell the house. Everything in between is just for fun.
Okay. The next one down here, median price new listings, 450 to 510. That's a 60,000 increase. This just represents more of the homes coming on the market are in higher price points than homes that have been on the market for a while. That's why the difference in the median list price and median price new listings.
Right.
These numbers also essentially extremely round numbers, but that's why. Why do people do that? Why do people want to list it? We do this. We've done 3,000 of these, and we've had some bank clients who made us we wouldn't have been able to list at 510. It would have had to been 509 100. Remember, Bank of America made us do that. So what about or some of the clients would make us do 509 990 or something or 900? Why do people just go to the nearest thousand like this?
Because it's like that $9.99 thing at the store or the 99-cent thing at the store. They just think that somehow that appears to be less. But then there are people who pick auspicious numbers, right? So they pick numbers ending in 777 or 333 or whatever their happy number
888 is a big one. I see that all the time. Okay. The next thing on here, interesting. This is probably the most important metric. This is price per square foot. It was $258 in December. It's $270 now. That's 12. Which means if you had a 2,000 square foot house on average, it's worth 24,000 more than it was. So why is that a better, more accurate than median list price?
Right, because this just keeps in mind the dollar per square foot. So that translates better, I think, for everybody. Everybody understands that. Saying, hey, I've got a 2,000 square foot house and price per square foot, this is what my house is worth versus I have a 1,800, 2,800, 3,200, whatever. It's just easier to calculate what your home might be worth.
It's very possible month over month to see the median go up, but home prices are effectively the same. It just means that next month, more homes sold that were in higher price ranges. Right. And then the next month they could drop. Doesn't mean home prices dropped. It just means more homes that were in lower price ranges sold that month. That's how this works. There's not they magically know how much houses are worth and then they assign a value to the market, which is, I think, how because homes it's not like a commodity like gasoline or something if you buy gas in one side of town, the other side of town, it's basically gas, right? Right. Versus a house, it could be completely different.
Right. So the bottom line is that price per square foot is a better indicator of what's happening with home values.
Yeah. Down here, inventory, 2,600 December 1st, 2,000. We have over 400,000 houses in Vegas. Now remember, these are just single-family houses, just in Las Vegas. Doesn't include condos. Doesn't include other cities. This is pretty low. This is historically Probably the lowest we've since seen, except for 2021. We haven't seen this level in quite a while.
Right.
It's pretty low.
I know we say this a lot, but it's because inventory has just done nothing but be super low, and it's still hard for us to wrap our heads around a community that has so many homes as far as buildings are concerned and so few homes available for buyers to purchase.
This market action index chart here, this goes all the way back to basically 2019. 40 is kind of normally where the market is. If you look within really the last 2 years, it's been around 40. We've had a very normal market. 2019, we had a normal market. All that stuff in the middle was post the thing that shall not be named, that we cannot name it because it negatively affects, I think, our video performance. But you could see all the way on the right, the 7-day average, 56.9. That means if you just took a snapshot of the real estate market in Las Vegas or the housing market for that week, it acted as like basically a 57, which is a hot market. It's a pretty hot market.
Right.
The other thing about this chart I think is interesting is it's an index, so it goes from 0 to 100. But then there's a 120 line. You physically can't get there. 100 is the highest you can get. Literally, if like everything that came on the market sold and a bunch of other houses sold and everything was on the market for like 0 days, you'd have 100. And if you look back at like April 2022 and maybe April of 2021, those are pretty hot. Do not think we're going to see that. But if you had to guess sometime in April, which is next month, say in the next 6 weeks, what do you think this market action index would be like at the peak of this spring? If it's 57 right now.
I think it's just going to get hotter, but I think that 120 number is aspirational.
No, yeah, that's kind of like, it takes voodoo to get there. You have to have some kind of magic thing. Okay. Now this is price per square foot chart. I want to just explain one thing on here to everybody, that you see that big hump where home prices just kind of shot up and kind of tailed off there. We call that moderating. We literally predicted this would happen. We were ridiculed by a bunch of people who said, no, market's going to crash. So that hump had nothing to do with, that was not equilibrium. That was something called disequilibrium. What was going on in, say, March, April of 2022 that caused this sort of fake run up in just home prices? Remember, this is only representing home prices that transacted those months. Right. What was that?
So the low interest rate train was leaving the station.
Okay.
So interest rates were starting to go up.
Yeah. There were a lot of low interest rates, and people were just saying, look, I don't care if I have to pay $20,000, $30,000 over list price. I just need to get this house because my lender's saying I can right now still get 4.5%. Like, we actually were dealing with people who were in a panic to just get something, saying they're telling me they're going to go up like maybe a quarter point a week. Like a month, next month it could be 1% higher. I just need to get a house. I don't really care about the price. I like the house. I want the house. Just forget the number. I think that's a bad way to make an investment. Okay, now we've got more charts, but I'm gonna jump over to this. Well, actually, let me talk about one more thing on this chart before we do that. If you look back to March of 2023, really even before that, probably January, late fall of 2022. Let's call it the last year and a half. Okay. Home prices have steadily, this looks like a normal market. Meaning if you drew a line at just after September and wiped out everything else and just ignored that and looked at this, you would say, this looks like a kind of normal real estate market. Home prices went from $250 a square feet a year and a half ago. We know that they're $270 now. That means your 2,000 square foot house is worth $40,000. Nowhere on here is there substantial change in prices other than kind of the trend is going up, right?
Right.
Okay. Now with that, on Google, I found these two articles. Okay. These are two articles. One is Rocket Homes. Rocket Homes, I think, aren't they the largest lender in the U.S. now, right?
I think so.
Rocket Homes. And then on the bottom is Redfin. Okay. What I put was our home prices in Las Vegas dropping. This is what came up. And Rocket Mortgage says homes in Las Vegas have sold for 3% less than they did here. It's not true. We showed you the data. They're up like, $15 a square foot, which is like $30,000. How could they be off so far? Median price sold in Vegas for $405 in February, down 3% from last year, and the median price per square foot was $241. That number, I don't know where they're getting this median price per square foot. That's kind of a ridiculous number because it's not. We know that. But what's funny is go to the bottom. Redfin, exact same months. In January 24, home prices were up 6.4. They're literally 9.4% and their difference, and they're on opposite sides of the spectrum.
Right.
They have all different numbers too.
So, look, if you're a buyer out there, you can probably tell all your friends that you've been trying to buy a house and houses are costing more money today than they were a year ago, despite interest rates. If you're a seller, same thing, that your home, when you go on all the usual suspect websites, your home is probably worth more money now than it was a year ago. So I don't know what Rocket Mortgage is using for its data set, but I do know that in the real world, people who are actually in the process of buying a home are seeing that home prices are up.
This is the last chart, inventory. I wish we'll find a chart that goes back further. I think the Fred chart's even looking back to 2016 or so. I'm going to give you an idea of what this chart would have looked like in 2006, 7, and 8, when we had a lot of inventory and home prices were really, homes were taking longer to sell and people were having to drop their price to sell. The inventory level, if you're looking on a TV, would be, like in your house, would be above where the ceiling is, that in order for it to display properly, right? To render, it would have to be above your ceiling. If you're looking on your phone, you'd have to put like an iPad on top of your phone to then be able to see. These inventory numbers, we normally, I would say, have 5,000 and 6,000 in Vegas. We had 26,000 in the MLS, and about, probably 20,000 of that or 18,000 that was in Vegas. We have substantially less inventory. And you could see that those couple years, 21, 22, were just sort of the super hot market that we've seen. And we honestly can't get back there. Even with interest rates going from 3 to 7%, they've more than doubled. The most we could get back to was just for a couple months, we got back to kind of a normal inventory level and it went away again.
Right.
And interest rates today, I checked, are like 6.8% for 30-year fixed, a median rate. And people are still buying, right?
Right.
So what's the outlook? What do you think you're gonna expect to see the rest of the year?
So I think it's going to be much of the same. I really thought that sellers would come out of their shells, so to speak, this spring, and that they would put their homes on the market and just kind of take a leap of faith. But what I'm hearing is people are just really concerned that they will be homeless, that they won't have a home to buy. So look, particularly when people are looking in the same market. So let's say, for example, here in Las Vegas, let's say that you have a home in Henderson and your kids maybe go to school in Summerlin, and now you want to move to Summerlin so you don't have to have this big commute with the kids twice a day. So now you're looking at a home in Summerlin. Well, that's nice, but you can't find anything that you would like to buy in Summerlin. So now you're not putting your Henderson home up for sale because you can't find a Summerlin home. And the Summerlin people are probably doing the same thing. They're not putting their homes up for sale because wherever they want to go, they can't find a home. So we're still kind of stuck. And I don't see us getting unstuck anytime soon. It's been a long time and people just seem to be really have dug in their heels and they're not going anywhere. Yeah. It's surprising to me because I really think that people most of the time at some point reach the I'm just going to get on with life point. But apparently I was mistaken and people are still stuck. That combined with the interest rates probably not coming down substantially this year. I think we're all pretty set on that interest rates are not going to change substantially this year. And then we've got the election in the fall, and that breeds uncertainty. So there's just a lot going on to make it not a lot go on in the real estate market. So the real estate market, I think, is pretty much stuck.
Do you think, and this is sort of maybe the average person wouldn't understand this, but do you think that people out there are just saying, I'd really like to move to a different part of town or move wherever, but I just can't, I'm looking at my financial situation and I have an $1,100 a month payment on my mortgage, and I don't want to give that up to go buy another house. I'm financially trapped in my house because for the first time ever, I'm putting money away. Like I'm stashing money into savings. I have money to spend and buy other things. People underplay the jobs numbers just came out and it was like 200,000 something new jobs created in February.
Right. It was Yeah, so there was about, I think, 80,000 more jobs than economists predicted.
Yeah.
Unemployment did tick up a little more than they thought it would by 0.2%. But you combine that with about 80,000 more jobs than they had anticipated, so it's kind of a push.
The difference is one is they actually look at the employers filing W-2s, and the other is or wages, and then the other is it's a poll. They just poll. That's
Right.
how they get.
Yeah.
They poll people. So it can have an error in there. They can't
Sure.
poll everybody. So
Sure.
there could be error because it changes up and down all the time. A lot of people who have, I would call it a type of wealth effect. I want you to think about this. Maybe we should save this for another video, but let's save it for another video. Okay, if you want to hear our theory on the wealth effect and how it's causing people to change some of their behaviors, subscribe to the channel. And then also when you subscribe, you have to hit the share button and like the video.
Yes.
Yeah.
And leave us your real estate related comments. We appreciate them. And we thank you for liking the video and sharing the video.
Yeah,
We'll
we
see you on the
appreciate
next
it.
video. Bye.
Bye.